not much left here. Just a couple of chickens.
All right then, let's go.
Come here, you little salamanders.
Not lay a hand on my children, you murderous vermin! No!
A fighter, are you?
This one seems to be a bit beyond your skills. Now I said, let's go!
Two villages entirely destroyed by Viking raids.
Yes, sire, and there may be more.
6 oxen, 23 goats, scores of chickens and other livestock slaughtered or stolen.
And 12 hectares of crops burned.
Your losses are considerable, Llewellyn.
Yes, sire, and they were incurred in the last fortnight alone.
All of us in your northern territories have suffered from these Viking raids, your majesty. And there are more each spring.
Your lordships may rest assured that I will fully compensate you for all that you've lost.
With all due respect, your majesty, there is no amount of gold which can make up for the loss of human life.
Whole families are being obliterated, children carried off, their parents killed.
King Arthur, it is time to put an end to this Viking menace once and for all!
It's simple, Gawain. You'll get his attention, and I'll throw the rope around his neck.
I'm in no mood for this sport, Valiant. Forget trying to get him back into his pen. I say we shoot him where he stands, pay the farmer for the damages, and be done with it.
Brilliant diversion, Sir Knight. Don't just stand there, Gawain. Help!
Let go! Valiant!
Thank you! Splendid job!
The next time you feel the urge to wrestle a runaway rampaging bovine, Valiant, please feel free to count me out.
Done. All I want now is a long soak in a hot bath.
Prince Valiant, King Arthur wants to see you immediately.
Oh, no.
I'll see to it they keep a tub warm for you, Valiant.
The king wishes to see you as well, Sir Gawain.
Oh.
Llewellyn is right. We must end this strife with the Vikings. But I cannot raise an army to invade their homeland, to kill their innocent women and children. It is against everything Camelot stands for.
Then your choice is clear, Arthur.
Yes, a choice that is long overdue.
The knights are assembled. It's time for us to go.
I'll be along shortly, Merlin. First, there is something I must get before we begin. It will be critical to our negotiations with the Vikings. Marine! It's gone!
Speaking for myself, Merlin,
We appreciate that, Gawain.
as I was saying before this young pup interrupted me, perhaps it is time to put a stop to these acts of violence once and for all.
Are you suggesting that I send a fleet thousands of miles from home to attack a nation on its own soil?
That is precisely what I'm suggesting, Your Majesty.
I have no doubt we would prevail against King Olaf and his armies. So many innocent lives would be lost in the process. It would be the beginning of the end of the ideals of Camelot.
That would be unacceptable, Your Highness. But what then would you have us do?
The four of you will lead a small expedition to the Northern Territories. A show of force to appease the noblemen.
If we are pressed, Arthur, the end result could still be bloody warfare. Only
No. Once you've reached Kengarry and have gotten our troops in place, The four of you will travel to King Olaf and do your best to negotiate a peace treaty with the Vikings.
What?
It's been the better part of 3 years since Olaf sent his emissaries in search of Camelot and of peace, bearing his own royal ring as their symbol of good faith.
Yes, and he has no way of knowing that it was only after these men were murdered that we learned of his wish to end the hostilities between our two kingdoms.
Without the ring, proving that you are sincere could pose a very difficult problem for Valiant and the others.
True, but letting Olaf know that someone in Camelot stole the ring would serve no purpose. We can only hope that he still carries in his heart the wish for peace, as we do.
And what will you do if he does not?
We can only pray that he does, Merlin. But right now, I am most concerned with finding out who in Camelot is not only a thief, but also a traitor. And I intend to lose no time in doing so.
Has it been so long, Arthur, that you have forgotten the lessons of your youth?
Merlin! Come on, you're slowing up the hunt! Hurry, Merlin, hurry!
You go on ahead, lad. I'll wait for you here.
I've lost him. How did you do that?
Remember, Arthur, the hunter that waits in silence often has a fuller belly than one who feels the need to trumpet his arrival.
Would that we could have bypassed this dismal place.
I agree. It would not be my first choice for a holiday retreat.
You know why we're here in Kengarry, Gawain, and it is definitely not for a holiday.
True, Valiant. However, Duncan Draconarius has become king. He's had many dealings with the Vikings. If we are to succeed in making this treaty with King Olaf, we will need his help.
And it looks as if Duncan may need ours.
Vikings.
I'm not so sure, Valiant.
For the last time, you have no proof that these are the people who burned your church.
Who else then? We had no trouble until these foreigners moved here. That's all the proof we need.
But to condemn them without a hearing, that is not the way of Camelot.
Camelot! Down with Camelot!
Prince Valiant, welcome to Kengarry. It's good to see you again. Sending 4 members of the Camelot Inner Circle to meet King Olaf can mean only one thing. Arthur wants to make peace with the Vikings. A noble cause, but perhaps Arthur's attention should be focused closer to home. This constant conflict between immigrants and longtime Camelocians worries me, and it's getting worse.
Camelot will not close its borders to outsiders, Duncan.
It is only ignorance on both sides that has caused this unrest. It will resolve itself in time.
We have company, gentlemen.
But we're here on a mission of peace.
We'll be at the bottom of the sea before we can tell them that.
Then we have no choice. We must fight.
Fight with what? We left our swords in Kengarry.
And my ship is not built for battle.
We'll never outrun those boats.
We must try. If we can get in close to shore, we can hide there.
They're gaining on us! port to starboard!
Come on, you blasted sow! Turn!
Rocks! Dead ahead! Good work, Duncan. You can do it! Oh, look out! We're going aground!
The mainmast is going!
Well, it could have been worse. At least we're alive. For now.
We are Knights of the Round Table. We represent King Arthur of Camelot.
You expect me to take nothing more than your word for that? Where's your proof? Your shield? Your emblem? Knight of Camelot?
We have none. Everything we had went down with the boat.
He speaks the truth, Olaf. I will vouch for these men.
Mordred, are we to understand that you came here claiming to speak for Camelot, and that you have forged a peace treaty in King Arthur's name? One which will put an end to Viking raids on Camelot's northern territories?
Yes, and a trade agreement, too.
How dare you claim the right to speak for King Arthur?
Your Majesty, this man is not someone who would be allowed to clean King Arthur's stable, let alone sign a treaty in his name.
King Olaf, when you sent your delegation to make peace with King Arthur, they were murdered before they ever reached Camelot. And we have every reason to believe that this is the man who massacred your emissaries. He is the only reason peace was not made between our two kingdoms long before now.
An accusation based on lies, King Olaf. I do admit that in my youth I believed the making of a peace treaty was an admission of weakness. But a man can change, and I have. I now know that for Camelot to thrive, we must make the Vikings our allies.
I no more trust you than...
Enough! I have no time for your petty personal feuds. It is not important who forged the treaty. What is important is that it's been made at all.
King Olaf is right. It is the end result that counts, and this result is satisfactory to all sides.
Mordred was banished from Camelot for treasonous acts. He cannot be trusted, King Olaf.
I have trusted him, young prince, and it is his peace offer that I have accepted. Now, go to King Arthur, and tell him that when next we meet, he can prove his trustworthiness by returning the symbol of good faith we sent him, my royal ring.
My thanks for your hospitality, Your Majesty. I will tell King Arthur of your treaty, Mordred. I'm sure he will be most pleased.
I look forward to seeing you again soon, Valiant. In Camelot?
Yes. I suppose that will be unavoidable.
I have given you what I promised, Mordred. Now I expect you to keep your word to me.
Trust me, Olaf. With this treaty, we will lull Arthur into a wonderfully false sense of security. While he is foolishly lowering his defenses, we will be building an army strong enough to take his entire kingdom away from him. Camelot will be the anvil, and you will be my hammer in the north.
I will hold you to that.
It's only a matter of time before Arthur's ruin is complete. Only a matter of time.
Something is at the livestock. Most likely that badger again. I'll make sure this is the last time. They've stolen my horse! Blasted newcomers!
Should I set the barn aflame, Master Malden?
No, Simon. Our work here is done.
See that Caliburn is properly cooled down. Then give him food and water.
And I will see to it that you are compensated for your losses.
It's not enough, King Arthur. What about that fear my family now lives with, eh?
What would you have me do? Punish all immigrants for the crimes of a few?
Exactly that. Round them all up. Send them back where they came from. Nothing less. Keep Camelot for Camelosians.
Mordred?
I told King Olaf that he couldn't be trusted, Your Majesty, but...
I have no doubt we'll find out his motives soon enough, Valiant. For now, I suppose the important thing is that we have a treaty. Now go and get some rest. I fear that soon there will be little time for it. Your move, Merlin. Ironic, isn't it? Just when we're close to achieving peace with our greatest enemy, it seems that Camelot is beginning to splinter from within.
Darn. How could I have forgotten?
Enter.
Forgive me, sire. There is still one thing which will be necessary to seal the treaty.
King Olaf wants his ring back.
Merlin, your powers are truly wondrous.
They are merely powers of observation, Valiant.
My lords?
The new dawn is exactly that. A new beginning for Camelot.
And a chance for those of us who have almost nothing to at least keep a piece of our homeland.
Oh, it is a pity that King Arthur has slipped so far in his ability to rule wisely. But I have seen it before. A monarch losing touch with his people always tries to buy off those he has wronged with gold and silver.
Aye, money cannot buy peace of mind. The only thing that can is the sword.
I'll drink to that. To the new dawn and the fall of King Arthur.
Aye,
the new dawn and the fall of King Arthur.
Fall of King Arthur.
Well, we have learned who the traitor is aligned with, haven't we?
Mordred and the New Dawn! It's a neat trap he's set for me, Merlin. Once word gets out that he's put an end to the Viking threat, I will have no choice but to invite Mordred back to Camelot and publicly recognize him for his achievement.
I would invite him as soon as possible if I were you, Arthur. One should always keep his friends close, and his enemies even closer.
I believe your king is in check, Merlin.